Hey guys, welcome back to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 1941 American rom-com, Come Live With Me. This is a film starring Hedy Lamarr and Jimmy Stewart. Hedy Lamarr plays an Austrian refugee who's trying to avoid deportation back to Nazi Germany, so she finds a green card husband who is Jimmy Stewart. I guess that seems like a suitable setup for a rom-com in 1941? Yeah, why not? So yeah, let's check it out. And before we get started, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. I first saw Hedy Lamarr in the American adaptation of Pepe Le Moko, Algiers, and I was shocked. I was so captivated when I first saw Hedy Lamarr. I just had to see her in something else.
I wonder.
Old-timey Peloton.
And there I am, young, fresh, and glowing.
And beautifully backlit.
And that's the way I think of myself all evening.
Hello there, you two. Hello, Arnold.
Good night, dear.
Night. Mustn't keep my wife waiting, you know.
I never do. Well, good night, Bart. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Bart is off to his own travels.
You know, your husband's much too broad-minded.
I should think you'd be the last one to complain about that. Bart and I don't believe in tradition. I'm a modern marriage. Bart and I have a perfect understanding.
Ooh. Scandalous.
I don't want Miss Jones to know that I'm here.
So I was totally guessing that Miss Jones would be an old lady or a young girl, especially with the gift that he gives her of the music box dancer. But as it turns out, it's because she's Viennese, and as such would perhaps be a fan of the waltz. Oh God. Hedy Lamarr for me is like a jump scare, but for just stunning beauty.
I thought you two would like each other. She was born in Vienna, too.
It's a nice character, the introduction of this married couple.
I want to see Miss Jans, Miss Johanna Jans. Okay, Miss Jones, then, if she likes it better that way, then tell her it's official. Department of Immigration. Or maybe you guessed that already.
Bart and Diana. But I actually wonder if there's a little hint of perhaps a class disparity that's being established early on.
Johnny.
That there's a landed life, a version of Manhattan living that has been established in the first act of this movie that will be upturned as the movie progresses, especially in light of...
Tried to think it wouldn't happen, but I knew it would.
In light
They
of
can't let you go,
Johnny's
Johnny. They can't send you back.
They have to.
immigration
My temporary
issues.
passport was up 3 months ago.
Inspector, Miss Jones can't go back. Don't you understand? She can't go back.
Why not?
Because of her father. Well, they have a word for it over there. Liquidated.
Oh, wow.
murder. Like we say it over here.
Because he stood up for what he believed in.
I always am shocked to see how early on they integrate stories of like World War II into American films, into American narratives. But of course, like the depth of the atrocities that were committed over the course of that wouldn't be known to the wider public or to the people who are writing these stories at this time.
You gotta like people that can take it like she did.
Yeah, she has to be able to take it. To be able to face what she's going to face. If she goes back.
Yeah.
A moral
Excuse me,
INS
mister.
agent?
Maybe I got an out for you.
Different era.
I say maybe there's a way you can stay here. If you got married to an American citizen, then you could get a quota number and you could stay here.
Can't lose you now, Johnny. I can't.
Just tonight we said it would be forever and ever. And now it's only a week.
I love that aspect of like of art, but of movies, the compression and expansion of time. That's also a line that's like said in this movie actually, Pandora and the Flying Dutchman. At the end of the movie, they talk about how one moment can be expanded into a lifetime with love and all that.
Was yesterday, and all that went before was imperfect, unfulfilled, unreal. But our love is real, has no sense of time.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh. A little bit of a shoe shot.
Hey, what are you...
Oh, poor Jimmy Stewart. So down on his luck. He hasn't eaten since Mr. Smith. Oh, you just saw the cigarette burn. End of reel one. What is this, 15 minutes? No, 18.
Wait a minute. Now, look, the guy took my arm. Wait a minute. Then where's the line of counter?
A marriage of convenience, perhaps. A destitute writer? An immigrant in need?
Where to, lady?
Oh, anywhere, just away from here.
A perfect matchup. A dream matchup to some writers.
How do you do? You mean you haven't any,
Look how beautiful Hedy Lamarr is. I don't know if they've like greased up the lens or anything,
that
but
was really
look
the
at
first
her.
time?
Yeah.
She both needs it and doesn't need it. She both benefits from it and could do absolutely without it.
You really haven't any.
It's just a little place, but it's dreary.
She's making her best of
I
it.
guess that takes care of the formalities.
Oh my god, what is he doing?
What do you mean by doing a thing like that?
Does he think that he's a gigolo tonight?
Well, you ought to know, it was your idea to come up here in the first place. Hey, you weren't on one of those treasure hunts, are you?
Treasure hunt?
For you?
Well, then what did you come up here for anyway?
I came here to ask you to marry me.
Ah,
They get right to the point, wow.
Because you have no money. Unless I can marry an American citizen right away, I'll be sent back to what used to be Austria.
I thought I had troubles.
They did a good job of like establishing early on this kind of moral system that he has, that he may not like be charming or wealthy in like a micro sense, but he has a good system of morals of like respecting people who are in a worse strife with the interaction with the bum.
Well, don't you see? If you really want to keep on writing, you could have the money to do it. That would be my part of the bargain.
Me taking money from you? No, I'm very sorry.
Well, there's no use talking to you. You're
God,
just
she is
not practical.
stunning.
Oh, I'm not practical, all right? Here, make a list.
A list? What?
Of rules.
Don't you, or do you?
It's going to be 50 Shades of Grey.
All right, I'll keep a record of this, and as soon as I click, I'll pay you back every nickel of it, okay?
Okay.
Two people that never saw each other before, and they're just about to get married and promise to love, honor, and obey.
Obey?
With us, you understand that.
Oh, I understand. No love.
You see, couples of previous generations were dealing with the same crises that we are. Same questions of whether relationships are built on foundations of trust, honor, love, money, which takes precedence.
What do you know about what she does?
Full-on Gollum scene
After all, I'm married
in
to her.
1941. They loved to do these spots back in like the 40s. What was that Edward G. Robinson movie? Similar setup where he had a conversation with like the dark shadow version of himself, debating whether or not he should kill people.
Now, how could he know anything like that?
But I can't marry you.
Why not?
Because I'm married already.
Oh, Monsieur Johnny, my duck.
Her hats are just
I want some new kind of perfume.
tremendous.
No, it's just the kind I always use.
I just haven't smelled it for a while.
They're all in there, Johnny. All the things I want to say to you that I can't say now.
Like what?
No, Bill, you mustn't say them now.
But if this is
Absolutely
good, I have
not.
the right to say them.
Oh, he's absolutely smitten so early on. I mean, I can understand why.
Bill,
End of reel 2.
you must realize it's hard for me to say things too. Well, it's this.
I need to get a divorce so I could get married, yeah. Oh no!
Divorce?
Oh no! What's gonna happen for the rest of this movie? Remember, this is about practicality. She is a refugee. She watched her father got murdered by the Gestapo. She has more urgent concerns.
Is there somebody else?
Yes, obviously.
Now it's all over, huh? All right, goodbye.
That'd be amazing if the credits just rolled there. Nothing to say further of the movie.
what's keeping them?
The girl.
Well, you're never going to get no place if you let her act like that.
Well, I'm not totally sure. You know, it's a different time, different concepts of what courtship is.
You got to put some pants on that guy, or the thing's no good.
It's about a beautiful Viennese refugee who marries a young man that she's never seen before so that she can stay in this country.
It's about what?
A man named William Smith. He really can write.
Strings of destiny, pulling, binding these four together.
Well, she just sort of came to me. I mean, it just sort of came to me.
Oh, it just sort of came to you. I see. By the way, your characterization of the other man is a little confused, don't you think?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, that character has given me a lot of trouble. I'm planning to get rid of him before the end of the story.
Do it.
Oh, you are? Oh, that's all right.
It's a lovely little veil. Such style, such elegance of the previous generations.
I'm very anxious to know about the ending, Mr. Smith.
Yes, I'm rather anxious about that myself.
Well, they're...
Marry the other man.
Great. We've got a full-on Moulin Rouge.
I mean, you don't think an intelligent girl would throw herself away on a penniless young nobody?
Well, now, just a minute, Mr. Kendrick.
Why would the courtesan go for the penniless rights?
But definitely not old. No. As a matter of fact, he's just approaching the best years of his life. And in addition, he has money, security, and position.
See, the way this story turns out is very important to me.
Of course it is. Seems to be rather important to my husband, too.
Well,
For whatever reason.
Now, there you are. Go right ahead.
No, well, wait a minute,
Go
Deanne.
on. The sooner he gets the money, the sooner he can work out the ending.
I love this detail of him not being able to show off his glasses to make himself not seem as old to Jimmy Stewart's character.
Yes.
100.
No, make it 500.
Wow.
$500.
Well, it's just that you seem so different today.
Well, I am different. And this is what makes me so different. 10 weeks at $17.80 a week, and it's all there, Johnny, every penny of it. And now we're even.
You and I are going away?
Mm-hmm.
Bill, you've lost your
Bill,
mind.
she just doesn't think of you that way.
Oh, you're not, huh? You want a divorce, don't you?
You know
Oh
I-
no, Bill!
No.
I guess this is what it means to be, you know, a bit more
You know I do.
imposing of
Okay,
your
No
will.
trip, no divorce. Hey, I'm just a tramp that's been living off you. Well, at least I was. Now you're going for a trip up to my neck of the woods.
You leave my things alone.
You might as well cooperate. You're just holding up your own divorce.
I guess this is what it means to take charge.
You're horrible.
Ah, it's because you don't know me. That's why we'll have to
This is
get
what
away.
happens when men get money.
Pack these.
Give me that.
I wouldn't have known. As a man, I wouldn't have known. God, she is beautiful at every single angle.
There. Stupid.
Gee, you're beautiful.
Seriously.
Pardon me, please. Where is the telephone?
They're really going in hard on this upstairs-downstairs dynamic. This city rat and city mouse and country mouse.
Hello. I want to get New York, please.
Johnny, this is Buck. Buck beat Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
Here, drink
I
up.
really wasn't expecting the tail end of this movie to turn into Sweet Home
No,
Alabama.
I don't drink, really.
Wait a minute. It's apple cider. Buck makes it himself. Wouldn't hurt a baby.
Go on, Johnny. It'll put...
Where are they? Austining?
They look so peaceful.
Oh, they're going home.
It's lovely here.
Grandma always puts me in my place.
It's really interesting to see like the plot point in Love Affair or in An Affair to Remember. The like plot one visit to the grandma. The act one visit to the grandma plot point play out in act 3 of a different movie.
Hands clean?
Well, oh yeah.
Not bad.
This is such a set. It's very well constructed, but it's such a set.
How do you do?
Pretty, aren't you?
It's an understatement.
Never mind me. When you get old, time's too precious to waste. People are pretty, you tell them so.
I've been wanting to say that for weeks.
Can't imagine why you didn't.
You made this sampler too?
I warned you. You can't avoid them in this house. After all, time does heal all wounds.
Does it?
No arguing about it. There's no arguing with any of the old sayings.
Perhaps you haven't had any reason to doubt the truth of that.
There isn't a woman in the world who hasn't had reason to doubt sometimes. A baby born dead. A young husband killed by a falling tree. A flood that covers your fields and makes you go hungry for a year.
It's a weird little...
It's a while to learn that that's true.
I don't know if it's like an underpinning theme of this movie, but there's like a little bit of an oppression Olympics that's being played out in this, scaling like the horrors of poverty versus war versus like the hardships of country living. I don't think it's necessarily the movie saying anything meaningful so much as saying like overall saying that, you know, time heals all wounds, that this too shall pass. It's just like an interesting backbone to the movie. Obviously, early on in World War II, and especially America's kind of like involvement or acknowledgement of that war and its scope and its eventual scale. But I don't think a movie that would be made 3 or 4 years later would be as kind of dismissive in displaying the horrors of the European war as being within a spectrum.
We'll try and fatten her up.
I don't know when's the last time I saw Jimmy Stewart smoking so much in a movie. This actress literally worked with all of the greats of this generation. Leo McCarey, Elia Kazan, Frank Capra, Jacques Tourneur. Like crazy. Julien Duvivier.
Simple things all that counts, Johnny. Some seed for good ground. Rain and sun to bring 'em up. Nothing else counts. Well, good night, Johnny.
Good night.
I really do understand the sentiment, but none of those things would defeat the Nazis. It's an interesting, I guess, dichotomy that this movie is establishing of like simplicity versus complexity of like the country life versus the city life, because I think it packages the idea of simplicity into the country life, but the complexity of the city life, it's there in the established relationship between Deanne and Bart, that they are of a modern marriage and they have complexities within their marriage, and they're like very loose with the terms of their relationship, where Jimmy Stewart, Billy's character, wants something really simple, but I don't know if that's entirely sure. I don't know.
The reason for all those rejection slips.
Oh, but there won't be any more.
There's a degree of simplicity, I think, that within
I'm only gonna write about the things I understand. Kids I grew up with, my grandmother, Martha, and Charlie Gebhardt.
I do appreciate that Billy and Johnny's relationship was established on the facade of complexity, that they would have an arrangement that's practical and convenient and disdains like love or any of those kind of like simple morals. And when they retreat to the country, they find that simplicity again. But they wouldn't have come together if it wasn't for that first like wrinkle of complexity.
Do you still want it, Johnny, when we go back?
I'm not sure I know now.
Movie's kind of an advocate for, not getting a divorce.
It's late, Bill.
You want to go in?
It really is interesting, because I think there is a version of the story you could tell where Hedy Lamarr's character, or Hedy Lamarr herself, would be the picture would fit into this idea, this theme of simplicity, of naturalness, but I don't think she necessarily works in this context. Just maybe her immigrant status or whatever, the actual actress's immigrant status, like... I don't necessarily think she fits into this perspective of country simplicity, American country simplicity. Like you as an audience are excited to see her in lovely dresses and beautiful hats and watching her in these kind of, I don't know, Dutch style
No,
pajamas.
Well, I just thought I'd ask her.
Good night.
Kind of does a disservice to her glamour.
It certainly is a beautiful view from over at the window, Johnny.
Yes, I know.
What you said?
Billy,
I was
back
looking
away.
before you came in.
All those little lights, they really mean something, you know. They use them to signal each other, and the way they signal each other,
Billy, get out of there.
when the girl firefly wants to let the man firefly know that she sort of likes him a little bit, why, she flashes that little light in exact 2-second intervals.
Yeah, I understand that you want her to give you the signal. She's not giving you the signal.
Don't you think that's pretty smart?
Oh, yes, I do. Good night.
Bill. Bill.
Yes, Johnny.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I just wanted to tell you you were very nice today.
What did I do?
When you told your grandma that I
Just
was
watching her lie down like that.
Oh.
Absolutely splendid.
Johnny, I don't suppose you'd like me to explain to you just why I said you were Miss Jones, would you?
I know why, Bill.
No, ew. I get it, but ew. But whatever. It's a rom-com. It doesn't have to follow like traditional morals exactly. It doesn't have to follow the best morals in order to achieve its goals. Yeah. I guess that's all I'll say about it. I watched another movie from this era that had like a partition conversation. Obviously, it happened one night, but there was another one where they were like dividing up a room, or they were dividing up their sides of an apartment, and then they eventually found out they like tore down the wall with each other.
I don't want your pay.
Well, you're gonna get it.
You take care of yourself.
Johnny,
Yes, Bill.
do you like poetry?
Oh, yes.
Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove, and I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant posies, and if these pleasures do thee move, come live with me and be my love. Yeah,
I think it was the more the merrier.
years ago, Johnny.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. No. Not in one night. Come on. It's just too much for me. In one night's time.
Johnny, here I am.
Tell him what you have to tell him. Tell him quick.
Mirror spot again. He could see himself clearer. Oh!
Ah, you sucker.
So she's marrying a schizophrenic. Just to let you know. These two are never gonna work. I can't think of a single like sentiment that they share. It's cute. It's cute. These two are never gonna work. I can't think of anything that they relate on. Like simplicity, I guess, but everybody on vacation craves simplicity. Oh, these fucking fireflies. Ugh, disgusting. This is a funny movie where I think that I personally can't really buy Jimmy Stewart and Hedy Lamarr as a couple, especially these two, like what they actually like relate to with each other and what they complement each other with. A lot of that is kind of like justified with the message of simplicity and return. This is perhaps one of the most like not like conservative coded, but like or like anti city, anti-metropolitan movies, that rom-coms that I've seen in a while, and I wasn't expecting that for a Hedy Lamarr vehicle. I like it's just difficult with a lead actress like Hedy Lamarr. You kind of want a sophisticated ending for these two. You want them to be charming, erudite, and an ultimately wealthy couple. And I could see the return to the countryside ending for Jimmy Stewart as a performer. I don't necessarily buy it for Hedy Lamarr as an actress, as an icon, as a cinematic avatar. I don't think it really fits in with her. I do like in terms of the subtleties or the unresolved aspects of this, the like dangling plot threads. I think it's a funny and affirmational idea. It's a loose thread that it actually affirms the ideals of the movie, that that ultimately Barton Kendrick will probably not publish his book, so he won't be a successful author. But what he needed wasn't to be a successful author in the end. What he needed was to return to the countryside with a girl and fall in love with her the way that his grandmother told him. So I think that's actually something that's left unspoken in the movie, that you can kind of just figure out in your head, and it actually rolls around back to the ultimate moral of the movie. I think that's good. I like this was more like the romance in this movie is a little bit hectic, but I think that's also like a complication of the themes at play in this movie, of like not trying to force something to happen, of trying to allow something to happen, but also like not giving up. It's a very thin line that's established in the difference between Billy getting a lot of money and thinking that makes him a viable candidate, a viable partner for Johnny, and then taking her hostage out into the country, and the version of himself that takes his grandmother's advice, takes heed of simplicity and romance and dedication as opposed to forcefulness, and recites the Marlowe poem to her and allows her to like come to him to a certain degree. But like the movie is so like top heavy with a lot of the like manic version of their courtship or their love affair, and it's all coming from his side. She doesn't really indulge in it until the end, that it's like it doesn't really feel like a romantic movie. It feels like, I don't know, like wearing down the prom queen until she finally like leaves the jock at the end of the movie for you. Yeah, I for a movie that I think is very moralistically or thematically pure at the end of it, I actually think it takes a really complicated roundabout way to get there, because the hook for this movie, the elevator pitch for it, is so juicy and so much more appealing than the ultimate resolution. The idea that an immigrant has to arrange a marriage with somebody that she doesn't even know in order to get a green card. I mean, that's like a cliche these days. It's a trope, but the way that it was spun in this movie, the particular construction of this narrative, I think it's a really fun hook that leads to a resolution that it isn't like exactly satisfying to that hook. This was a surprisingly traditional outlook for a movie than what the setup really would have led you to believe, or would have led me to believe. But I love looking at Hedy Lamarr. I love her, the kind of natural empathetic disposition she brings to this character. Like, while the chemistry wasn't necessarily there, you could really see her kind of identify with Billy and like want to do what's best for him, and like wanting to see his side of the situation. almost completely at the sacrifice of her own. It's actually kind of strange to see how much she's willing to forego her own needs or Bart's needs in order to give a chance to Bill. But I guess that's also just her like fundamental goodness, that she sees a character who's like down on his luck and is usually Destiny's punching bag, and tries to give him the benefit of the doubt. And Jimmy Stewart is a really great performer who manages to play anxiety and jealousy and kind of brashness, or his own version of macho-ness, in a sympathetic light. He always gives it like a comedic or sympathetic bent, where you don't necessarily agree with him every single time, but you can kind of see where he's coming from. That's kind of his trick as an actor, to kind of deceive you into at least semi-understanding everything that his characters do. And that's kind of the reason why he's so perfectly tuned for Scotty Ferguson, the character who does the worst things in the world and kind of asks for your affirmation of his actions. Yeah, I liked both of their characterizations. I just don't necessarily think the chemistry was there between the two to justify the end of the movie. Yeah, that was Come Live With Me. Give it a watch. Let me know what you think. In the meantime, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. And until next time, keep watching good movies.